Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be an update for my project 10 uses. This project was created by Phoebe HB. I will have her linked down below. I wanted to do this project instead of pan those eyeshadows, so I do have some random eyeshadows in here as well as other products. I skipped last month's update. I actually had a rollout, which I will talk about. I just kind of like did it on my own. I was just running behind and skipped it. I'm running behind this month too, but I didn't want to skip these couple of project pans that I'm filming for today yet again. So I'm just going to hop right into the update and try not to talk for too long. The product that I met my goal on for the last update, but like I didn't film it. Oh, also I have a fake tan on that's developing. So if I am looking tanner than usual, but if I change color throughout this video, that is why. A randomized eyeshadow from my Glamlight Michaela palette. I had randomly drawn in the shade Audrey, and I did use this 10 times. I occasionally used it as a liner on the lower lash line. I created a few really smoky, like deep teal looks with this as well. I just enjoyed having this whole palette out for the beginning portion of the year. I had a lot of fun with it, especially like Simping is the most beautiful pink shade, and I love Nas as well. These lighter shimmers are so good. I love the Glamlight formula, but I wish their shipping was a little more affordable to Canada. I would love to buy more from Glamlight, but I cannot for like $40 just for shipping. But since I met my goal on that, and that was a randomized eyeshadow, I'm just going to talk about what replaced it quickly because I don't have a ton of progress on this one. And so the randomly generated shade I rolled in came from my Alter Ego Luster Charm palette. This is a dupe of Pat McGrath. Is it Divine Rose? I'm not sure. I don't have a good like knowledge of Pat McGrath products to say like which this is duping. I think it's the Divine Rose palette, and the randomly generated shade was Rare, which is this deep warm brown. I've only used this twice in the last month, but this is the random eyeshadow that replaced Audrey, I almost said Aubrey, from the Glamlight Michaela palette. I've been using this shade Crystal is not the shade I'm supposed to be working on, but it is the most like beautiful white to like hot pink duochrome. I've been loving that. And then Radiant over here. I do have a code with Alter Ego with emilynmax to save 10%. They did send this to me for PR. As PR, I guess. There's some swatches of some of those like more special shades. I have really enjoyed this palette the 2 times I've used it, and I'm excited to keep using it. The mix of like warm and cool tones kind of threw me off a little bit. Like we have these really cool toned mauve shades, and then this is a warm brown. These are like really warm shades. I don't know. It's an interesting mix. This isn't a review of this palette. I'm just feeling chatty apparently. Let's just stick with the randomly generated eyeshadow. So the other shadow is from my Kaleidos Club Nebula palette, and in the last 2 months, I suppose, I've used this 4 times, bringing me up to 7 total uses. It is the shade Samus, which is this matte peach shade. So I need to use this shade 3 more times before rolling it out and rolling in a new randomized eyeshadow. Since the last time I filmed an update, the shade Astro actually broke and was kind of mashed into a whole bunch of shades. I think I did a decent job of repressing that in there, although I did lose quite a bit of shadow, which was sad. And also it's like there's blue sparkly bits in all of the remaining eyeshadows in here. I do really love this palette, and I'm looking forward to using this 3 more times. I do hope this can be a rollout for next time. The other palette I had in here, I chose myself this time. The time before that, it was randomized. Then I decided to just choose a palette. I chose the Colourpop So Jaded palette because I really wanted to show this some more love. This is like an I was gonna say an all-time favorite. I mean, I guess it's like an older favorite in my collection that I have been neglecting. I used this palette 8 times since like over the last 2 months, bringing me to a total of 10 uses. I did use this 10 times. I met my goal on it and I had so much fun with this. I played a lot with these like more mauve-y tones up here, Sunstone, Tiger's Eye, and then like this corner is where I kind of stayed, you know what I mean? I didn't really play with this section this time around, but that's fine. I've been working on a lot of blues and other palettes, so when I was reaching into here, I wanted something a bit different. The quality is still amazing. I still love this palette so much, but this will be rolling out as well. My Colourpop Creme Gel Liner in the shade Fluffy is this baby pink shade. I've only used this 2 times since the last update I filmed, which I completely forgot about this. So I'm at 6 out of 10 uses. I should be able to focus and get 4 more uses on this in the next month. It's creamy. I like it. If I don't wear it with the right look though, it can kind of look like I have pink eye. Like it's just a very light white based baby pink, and it doesn't give, it's not quite almost white or nude enough to be as brightening as I thought. Like it's very obviously pink. Does that make any sense? I'm not sure. 4 more uses to go on that. I have my BH Cosmetics Nude Blush palette. I used this 5 times since the last update for a total of 10 uses. I did mostly stick to these more blushy shades. This is called the Nude Blush palette, but this is kind of like a setting powder kind of shade for me. This I use to like tone down some bright blushes, and then these are more like bronzer shades. This would be a very, very light bronzer, but I would have no other real use for it. I don't know. This is definitely not really a shade I would use that much, but I'm happy to say that I have met my 10 use goal on this. This is another product that has been being neglected in my collection. That is what I'm liking to be putting in this project right now. I felt I've been neglecting some like depotted or like single magnetic pans of things, so I rolled in my Cosmetics Peach Silk Highlighter after Geek talked about this in like an underrated makeup favorites or something like that. This was rolled in last time I filmed an update, and I've used it 5 times. So I'm halfway to my goal. This is a beautiful highlighter. It does have a peach undertone, but it's much lighter than something like Champagne Pop, which is also peachy. So this works great on my fair skin tone. And having this palette, like the reason I didn't take that out and put it in a smaller magnetic palette is because I wanted to be using the other things in here as well. I cannot stop reaching for this blush, especially when I'm wearing more of a cool toned eye look. I can't get it out of here because a lot of the blushes I've been panning are very either just neutrally pink, which can get boring sometimes, or like very warm toned. So this is I Need Space from Colourpop, and I love that blush so much. I also was reaching for Unexpected by Cosmetics and Come and Get It from Colourpop. These 2 single shadows I've been reaching for a lot. So overall, I'm just really pleased with having this magnetic palette up in my drawer and being able to use a lot of the other items as well. Oh boy. I was so excited to purchase this and then roll it into Project 10 Uses to get some solid use on this. This is the Makeup by Mario Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Serum in Petal Glow. I do not like this. I've used this 7 times since I rolled it in, which was in the last update. Why don't I like this? This looks great once it's on and you have it like worked in, but this is too finicky, tricky for me. Like, I don't know if I'm just like not high maintenance enough for this, but this is one of those like lip glosses in a stick. You can't roll it up very much or else it's just going to like get all over the place. You know what I mean? So you click up just a little bit, but then when you're applying it, I can still kind of feel the plastic, which is uncomfortable, but if I roll it up more, then I make a mess. So, okay. And then when you put it on, it's like super thick, goopy, and you really have to like to work it in. You know what I mean? But afterwards, it looks beautiful. And once you get over the application, you work it into your lips, you have it even, like sometimes you need to go in with your finger, then it feels so comfortable. It has a bit of like a minty sensation, like the plumping. It's not actually like plumping, but your lips look super plump and juicy. It looks amazing, but it's so unpleasant to apply. Does that make any sense? Like, do you ever have those products where they're just a little bit finicky? Like, I don't like applying this, but I like how it looks afterwards. It's super long wearing as well, like probably because it's that bit of a thicker formula. So like, I'm saying I don't like it, but then I have all these positives to say about it as well. I did remove, I had like 1 or 2 other shades of this on my Sephora Loves list, and I did remove those because I don't know, I don't love it. But I've used it 7 times, so 3 more uses to go. So that is everything that I have to update you on. The last thing I had on my list was this Luster Charm shade, which we already chatted about. Now, this is funny. So I met my goal on Colourpop So Jaded and my BH Cosmetics Nude Blush palette. There were a couple items at the beginning of this project I took from the whole collection project pan, so they were randomly generated. And when I started Project 10 Uses, I said, I think some of the time I would like to randomly generate things, and then other times I want to pick specific things I want to test, like this Makeup by Mario, or things that are neglected, like this. But I haven't actually been randomizing things besides the 2 random eyeshadows that are like my pan nose eyeshadows, but only for 10 uses. So I didn't know what I wanted to do. I considered choosing my other palette again, and like this was to use the entire palette, whereas the other ones are specific shades. And I was thinking, I've been neglecting my Makeup Geek palette here, and I haven't been using my singles that much. It has been so nice to have in my Colourpop and M Cosmetics singles, but do I need to have 2 Z palettes up in my everyday makeup drawer? I don't think so. Let me randomly generate an item and a palette. So I decided to use the Pretty Random app to generate a product from my collection to use that was an eyeshadow, like from the rest of my collection, and then a random palette. You won't believe what the random product I got was. It was the blush in this palette. This is Makeup Geek Cherish. This was the random makeup. It has black in it from Corrupt here. It kind of flaked into this blush. I'll have to wipe that off. But this was the product that got randomly generated for me to use. And I think I'm just going to do what I did with the M Cosmetics highlighter and bring this whole palette up and get some uses on these single eyeshadows as well. I guess that was like the universe confirming that, yes, Emily, you should reach for this palette and get some use on it because it's been really neglected in your collection. I just thought that was so funny. And then the randomized palette, so I need to use the blush 10 times, but in pulling this out, I will reach for the eyeshadows a little bit, just, I was gonna say authentically, organically is what I meant to say. And then I'm super pleased with the randomized palette I got as well, which is the Alter Ego Goddess palette. So I now have 2 Alter Ego palettes in here. This one was not sent me in PR. I did buy this one with my own money, but again, I have a code emilynmax to save you 10% off at Alter Ego, and this is a dupe of the Natasha Denona Gold palette. Now, immediately looking at this, I'm like, oh, that's not very like spring or summer, but I actually think these like vibrant gold shades will be beautiful in the summer, and I love the matte browns in here. When I first saw the Natasha Denona Gold palette release like years ago, I was like, oh, that's a lot of matte brown, like mid-tone matte browns. Why do you need that many in a palette? But the undertones are so unique, so beautiful. I love reaching for them. It's like this column here, this shade and this shade, they're just stunning. And I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this, to use this palette 10 times. And same with the So Jaded palette. I don't necessarily need to be completing a full look from here. If I reach for one eyeshadow in here, it does count as one use. However, I typically reach for 2 or 3 eyeshadows if I have a palette open. I don't like creating a look out of 7 different palettes, especially if I'm reaching for a similar shade. Like, if I wanted to use this palette really bad that day and then I was looking at this deep brown, I'd be like, oh wait, I should open up this palette to get the deep brown and get that use on it. I'm not going to do that. I'm honestly too lazy. I'm just going to use this one. So 10 uses on this palette as a whole, however I see fit. I'm really excited about it because I feel like this needs some more love. That was a really long update. I didn't mean for it to be. To recap, the Michaela palette I rolled out last month and you didn't see it, but that is no longer in this project. The BH Cosmetics Nude Blush palette is being rolled out, and the Colourpop So Jaded palette is rolled out. In their place, the 2 eyeshadow palettes are both from Alter Ego. I have Luster Charm and Goddess that I'll be working on. Luster Charm is a specific shade to use 10 times. Goddess is the entire palette. And then also Makeup Geek Cherish Blush is in this project as well. My goal for next time is to be able to roll out my Colourpop Fluffy liner and my Makeup by Mario Petal Glow lip product and my Club Nebula palette, so I can roll in another random eyeshadows, like pan those eyeshadows, but only 10 uses. And then I'll probably pick 2 things out of my makeup drawer of shame to use 10 times. That's where I got the Makeup by Mario. I don't think that's why I got this one. I don't know why I rolled this in. Probably because I just wanted to use a pink eyeliner. I am rambling way too much. I love this project. It is like a combination of a Shop My Stash, and it's just been working so great for me. I feel so motivated to use these products. I feel great about rotating through my collection. I now am breathing as if I'm running a marathon, so I need to take a breath. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. Sorry I'm such a chaotic mess who likes to ramble. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!